Welcome to Arduino series by Dreadnought Robotics.
So first we'll take a potentiometer, Arduino and a motor. Understood? So here, okay, first I'll tell you about analog pins. So in an Arduino, there are 6 analog pins, okay? So your analog pins are mainly for input, understood? Majority of the time you'll use it for input. Sometimes you can use it also for output like 0 or 1, but analog pins are mainly used for inputs. So like in potentiometer, your value will be from a range from here to here, right? Correct. So even on temperature sensors, it will send a value through a specific value. Understanding? So in your analog pins, it gives means like when it's an input, it will give us a value. So it will give us a value between what we call 0 to 1, what we call 1023, because it will give you a range of 1024 values. Okay. So okay, so we have to specifically map it, and you have to program. So here your first terminal will be to the ground. In simple concept, if I tell you, see, if the knob is completely towards right, it will display the in Viper it will show that what we call terminal 1 value. So that is why we put it ground, because in the completely left side we want the value to be 0, and in the completely right side we want the value to be like 1023. Understood? 1023. So that we give it through uh, what we call this as a +5 value, V plus, and Viper is the value which it gives. So we are putting it to A0. So when you are simulating, understood, this thing moves according to what you want to use. Understood? So when you're keeping it here, the Viper gets a value of ground 0. If you are keeping it here, your Viper gets a value of 5 volts. Understanding? If you keep it over here in the middle, it will if this is 5 volts, then it will give it around 2.5 volts. Understanding, everyone? So this is how your potentiometer works and analog pin works. Okay. So now here we'll connect one point to the ground, and another point to a PWM pin, because according to how much value this goes, according to that I need this value, right? Correct. So this will be the circuit. Anyone has any doubt in that? Everyone understood this, right? Okay. So now we'll start coding it. Okay. First, I'll initialize the pins. So what we call one more thing, in analog pins, like in default, Arduino consider that as input pin. So you don't need to mention that what we call a pin mode for analog pins. It is default set it to what we call our defaultly in default is set it to input. So we'll take motor to be pin 5. Okay, and this will be motor, which is output. Okay, now the syntax for taking values to analog is int voltage. I think so it was volt only, right, Nikita?
Yeah.
Yeah, so int volts, like how much volts is it getting, analog read, and it reads A0. Understood? Okay, what we'll do, we'll print and show how this value works. Okay, so we'll start the simulation. So starting with what we'll do, this is too fast, I'll give a delay better. Yeah. So at starting, it will give a value of 0. And if we do it completely, it will give a value of 1023. This is the what we call analog read value. Understood? So now values range from 0 to 1023. If you keep it in center, it will run like approx 500 Understood? So according to how much you rotate it, is going to understood. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to map it to see your analog. This is completely like analog. We are using analog input to digital. We are using a digital output, correct? So we are using an analog to digital converter. Understood? So what we are going to map like int value, we'll keep it as value. Int value is equals to map. There's a function known as map, which what it does is that it will take a variable like volt. Understood? And now we should mention what will be. Well, let me just check the syntax once again. Let me just check the syntax 1 minute. Okay, map. Okay, yeah. So map a comma. What will be the variable that you want to change? Its range. Now volt range is 0 to 1023. Understood? And we need to change it to a range of 0 to, and your you remember PWM, right? So that's why we are connecting to PWM so that we can change the what we call the velocity, like the speed of the motor. So your PWM pin, anyone knows what's the range of PWM? What we have to give the value?
0 to
What?
255.
Yeah. So 0 to 255. Okay. So now once we change the volt from 0 to 1023 to 0 to 1 to like 255, your value according to your volt, it will range from 0 to 255. So now we have to write it to the motor, correct? So now we will analog write. Now the motor is at pin 5 motor and the value. Understood? So if you start simulating, now at the most at completely 0, it is velocity RPM is 0, correct? If you bring it to here, it will increase. If you keep here, it will increase even more. This is the maximum speed of the motor. Understood, everyone?